Hello, welcome back to Average Gamer Plays Factorio. Now, I've been doing an awful lot of wandering around, which is why I'm not in the same place that I was in before. Let's go back over to the low density structure build. I just had to do a little bit of tidying up on this. I did give it a little bit of a test in a backup copy of the world just to see if it would request all the right things and that everything was put together properly, and I had to I thought I'd put the train station names in the blueprint, but apparently not. The only things that I needed to tweak was that this underground here was pointing the wrong way, and obviously that was on all of them, and at the very top there was the other set of undergrounds was missing over here, so none of the stuff from here was going all the way over to there. So, but that's the only thing that was wrong, and I'm quite happy with that. I'm quite impressed by that, because it did actually request all the right amount of the right items into the right places. And then I noticed when I was giving it a test that it actually stopped quite soon, and that's because one thing I forgot was that low density structures only stack to 10, so these chests only hold 480 instead of 4,000, and I've worked out that we would need, for utility science, we would need 1.1 trains per minute coming in at that kind of rate, and for space science, for the to make all the rocket parts and whatever, it needs 1.3 trains per minute, and a train will hold 3,200. So there's still plenty of stuff in here for several trains worth, but we'll just have to have the trains coming in quite often. So I don't know, I might still, I've got plenty of space here to put a second train station in. There's plenty of room on the belts to move these balancers back, and I might do something similar to what I did with these mines over here, where I've just got one set of belts coming to this set of chests, and then the next set of belts going through with the undergrounds to this set of belts here. So I might just have two stations feeding through from the same set. Now, I've done a little bit offline. I've put in another oil field, and then I've just got this sort of little zigzag of stackers. So the trains come in on the left, and then they come out on the right. I've put in a couple more smelters for the copper, and a couple more mines. I've got one big mine feeding two train stations here, and then a mine feeding that station, and a mine feeding that station. So I've got 4 more stations of copper ore each. Back in the sandbox world, I have deleted, well, there's still a lot of bits and pieces left lying around on the map, but I've deleted everything that I've worked with on the low density structures. So we're now going to be bringing in blue circuits, because I have a blue circuit factory. We now have a low density structure factory, so we need to make flying robot frames. 36 machines. Now these take quite a while to produce, but yeah. So the steel plate and the green circuits I can have coming in, so we need to make batteries and electric engines. So let's just get that tiled. That should now be outputting 1209, which is half a belt. Those do have the full complement of modules and everything in them. Let's downgrade. That's still working fine. those are all fine with being red belts and all outputting onto the same side of the belt there. So the question is, how many blue circuits does this now need? Okay. So this needs, yeah, these basically still need 4 ingredients, don't they? So let's have a little look at that. 1728 batteries, which is 1 belt. It's less than a belt. 864 engines, which is less than a red belt. 2592 green circuits, which is for blue belt of green circuits, and 864. So that's half a red belt of engines, half a red belt of steel. So we'll have that there like that, because red undergrounds are cheaper than blue belts. Although if that is just going to be a red belt going up there, be a red belt going up there as well. That's it. Those don't move very quickly either. Yeah, that doesn't need to be any more than a blue fast inserter either. But I think that will still need to be a blue belt, but let's just double check. That still only outputs half a transport belt. 14.4, so let's see, that's still a sort of full belt, but it's That's annoying. That still does the same as it did before. Right, okay. It's not a problem because I think this does still output onto the belt even if that machine is blocking, is filling up, isn't it? Yeah, it's just that one little area there that doesn't have any power. Let's just take out the substations. Put them back in at the bottom. Cheers. We need 1,728 batteries. Now the thing is, I've been looking at this in my other world. The space science needs batteries for the satellite, and I don't know that needs 2,500 batteries. So if I were to do 4,000 let's have a look at how many machines I would need. Batteries are made in a chemical plant, aren't they, I believe? $4,214. So let's just double check. Let's turn that's 4,201, so that is what we need. Not a massive build. I'm wondering if I can do right, don't need that anymore. That was part of my low density structure workings out. So that's for the batteries. Now what do I need for the electric engines? Now this is the one that needs the lube, isn't it? So let's just wander over here as well. They are made in a normal assembly machine, I think. They need engine units. Engine units, steel plate, iron gear wheel and pipe. So we need 10 machines making engine units. $672. Yeah, we only need 607. We needed 9, just over 9 machines. Okay. And then we needed 13 machines, which is definitely a prime number, so we'll have 14 machines, 2 rows of 7. And we'll build this up as select a recipe for assembling. Right, okay. It was just this extra settings on here. It's confusing me. That's making the electric engines. And it needs 3 ingredients. Or 2 can come in on the pipe. 2 can come in on the belt, rather. We need green circuits, and the other one was the electric engines, wasn't it? So let's just stick those on there for now, engine units, and we'll have infinity pipe of lubricant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So is that now successfully making engine units? I believe it is. Electric engines, rather. Right, that looks like it is all working. This isn't looking too massive, I don't think. Certainly in terms of will it all fit into an octagon. So we'll press on. I mean, I'm just making lots of little building blocks which I'll kind of plug together afterwards. Right, we've got the steel coming in. We've got we need to make pipes and gears, don't we? We need 960 pipes and 480 gears. Now, one is coincidentally twice as much as the other. So that's basically just one machine making pipes and one machine making the gears. Let's double check. Oh, come on. I think I might need to have... I think this output's kind of so many. I think 960 is more than half a belt, isn't it? I don't know. We'll do it that way round anyway. Change recipe to gears. And I think that one can have prod. Although, to be honest, hang on a minute, a blue belt 45 times 60 is 2700 divided by 2 is 1350, so should still be able to get rid to do didn't want to do that. Come on, assembly machine, where are you? There you go. But if I change that to be just steel, So the question is, if I downgrade everything on there, now we're running out of pipes, aren't we? So those are still sort of running. Item ingredient shortage, okay. So let's have more full belt of steel coming in. But full, okay. So maybe we do need certainly plenty being used up there. That is output full, but that's fine because everything there is sort of that's okay being backed up. That has still got all the ingredients it needs because those are still working properly. Now this is making enough batteries for both the utility science and the accumulators. I was toying with the idea of having so for the rockets we need 57 machines, 160 machines making rocket control units. That's a lot. So utility science only needs 1,700 batteries. That produces 383. Well, a single machine does 127.7, so 1701 divided by 127.725 gives me 13.31 machines. So we need 14 machines. How many have I got there? 33, so So that would be kind of enough, more than enough batteries. That produces 1915. And then the other one for the $2,300. I think I would need so that produces 2682, and that would need 2,500, so that would be more than enough for the accumulators. It's not a massive amount. I mean, it would only need, I think I might actually end up splitting them into, you know, batteries for utilities and then batteries for accumulators. Instead of having batteries for absolutely everything. And it does mean that I'll have an extra station dropping off sulfuric acid. So that's making the batteries. That makes, that one makes 1915, which is again, do it that way around. Do something like that. Make sure all that gets swallowed up. Which it looks like it's going to. So that is less than a blue belt of batteries. And in fact, we do only need sort of half. Oh no. That should be batteries coming in on both sides of the belt. Let's see if that keeps everything running. Speed it up a bit. Certainly plenty of batteries getting down to the far end here, isn't there? Well, as I say, they're starting to get used up now, so maybe there aren't. So that says it needs 1728, and that says it produces 1915. But that is running out of batteries, isn't it? Hang on a minute. That bottom set wasn't outputting anything. So we've got right, so the electric engines we're making over here, so let's cut that. Get down here somewhere. So we only need half a belt. That should okay. So I think that's the number of machines I need to make 5,000 utility science. It's hovering at about the 5,100 a minute, which is okay. We'll keep it running. Well, these don't seem to be getting the electric engines. Those are all working. Some of those are working. Some of these are slowing down a little bit, but it is hovering very steady on the whole. It possibly can't do any harm to put another row of machines on the end of each sub factory. So we'd have, although that is now saying, yeah, it's working and it's saying output full, which is fine because it then means that this half belt is full. I mean, even then 14 of these was slightly over what we actually needed, so that's fine. I think it, again, it just needed time to populate the system completely. So we now need to work out again sort of how many belts of each ingredient we actually need. The best way of laying it all out, because I can actually put these, let me just turn that off for a minute. I can take that lot up and just rotate it round there like that. Join everything together. I mean, that will I mean, I can tidy up the actual lines, but the idea is, okay, so we've got a line of iron, two lines of iron coming in there. We need a line of, how much steel does this need? And is there anything else that needs steel? That needs 480, so that's only, that's, you know, like half a red belt of steel. We need green circuits coming into that one. We do need more steel coming in for this one actually. But that's only half a belt of steel there, isn't it? So let's do full belt of steel. Let's just see if that is enough. Because even if we have, you know, going to have a full train of steel coming in, so even if I do like an 8-to-2 balancer and I just have one line going in there and then the other line coming down here, that's still fine. So we need more steel and copper coming in at the bottom there. We need a full belt of green circuits for that one, and I haven't worked out yet how many green circuits we need for this. What's that saying? 1340. That's half a belt. So if we get 2 belts of greens coming in, we'll just try and get a handle on how many lines I need coming in and where they all need to go. Right, so we need basically 3 lines of iron, 1 line of copper, 2 lines of green circuits, 1 line of steel, 1 pipe of lube, 1 pipe of sulfuric acid, and 1 line of blue circuits. So it needs a lot of ingredients, but it doesn't seem to need like massive amounts of them. Let's just keep that running and then see if it does seem to hold steady. It does seem to be holding steady. The low density structures, don't we? So where's that coming in? That is in the final thing over here. We still need to sort out how many did it need? 3,702. So that is 2 belts of low density structures. I can probably downgrade a lot of this to downgrade a lot of that to reds and see what happens. Right, I've had a bit more time to play around with the setting on this now. I've moved things a little bit closer together to save a few belts. I've tidied up the inputs a little bit. I've put robo ports in. I've put a couple of radars in. The main thing that I've ended up changing on it is I'm using the underground belts a lot more than I was previously. By which I mean I'm getting them to go on a further reach. Which is saving belts. And it actually makes quite a significant saving. I did a scan earlier over the whole build and it used 2,000 red belts, it said. If I now have a look at it, Control C, scan over that, it now only uses 1,100 red belts. Second one in from the left there, we can see that 1.1k. So that is actually quite a significant saving, and I'm now wondering whether I can make similar savings in other builds by just going back and changing the reach on the underground belts, because I've got to use underground belts anyway to get past the beacons, so I might as well just get it to go as far as it can and save a few belts in the meantime. So I'm now tempted, certainly with the low density structure factory, of sort of seeing if I can save any belts, and I can probably save a little bit as well by, let's take that out. So these are all going as far as they can. I'm using undergrounds as much as I can. I'm using belts as little as I can. And everything is looking rather nice and splendiferous, I must say. And I'm now tempted to go back and do the same thing on, you know, some of the builds I've already put into the base. Paste it down over there. Now then. See, yeah, there's a lot of belts here that I could take out. Because I've not turned this factory on in the main base, I'm tempted to sort of just re-blueprint one of them and then use the bots to take up the old one and just put down the new blueprint, and then anything I've got left over I can just use for the utility science and rocket parts and all the other builds that I'm going to have to do, because this is going to save a significant number of belts if I do it if I do this on a build this size. Let's have a think about right, destruction planner. Actually, let's get rid of red undergrounds, red belts, blue belts and blue undergrounds. Copy that. Use another deconstruction planner to get rid of the beacons, the assemblers, the green inserters and the blue inserters, and the substations. And that just leaves a blueprint of belts. So we can then put that down there. Now that uses 153 red belts, 36 blues and 63 blue undergrounds. That's 153 and 36 and 63. That one used 288 and 162. So we certainly saved a lot of blue belts off that. We've not saved any undergrounds because they're still used, right? So that's 63 blue undergrounds is still being used, but 162 blue belts down to, what was it, 30 something? Down to 36. So if we're saving 130 blue belts, that's sort of 600-700 blue belts being saved over that, so that's worth doing. they're not cheap to make. Okay, so all that is ready to go. I will get that built. I'll get those other changes made. I don't know if I need to show the building process because it's going to be pretty much the same as before. It all goes in very, very smoothly now. I'm going to put some items in storage chests like the red belts, the red undergrounds and whatever. I'll work out on the blueprint how many I need. I mean, it says here 1,200 and then 737 undergrounds and 19 splitters. So I'll put all that, you know, pretty much in a storage chest when I put it all down, so that the bots will just pick it all up from there, and I won't need to run forwards and backwards too many times. I'll just try and run forwards and backwards once or twice. Get that put in. And then we'll work out what we need for the rockets, which is going to be another sort of big build, I think. And we shall see where we're up to. But for now, I will say, see you next time.